Macroeconomics and Global Perspectives. Our group members are Abegail, Boodram, Fathima, Critchlow, Sasha, Deonarine, Deneille, Goodridge, Vennesa, Kanhai, Celine, Ramkumar, and Anushka, Seenath. Our first topic is international trade. When we think about international trade, the first question that comes to mind is, what is international trade? International trade is basically the exchange of capital, goods and services among countries. Terms of trade can be favorable or unfavorable. Terms of trade is equal to the index of export prices over index of import prices by 100/1. The table shows the improvement of trade from year 1 to year 2, year 2 to year 3, year 3 to year 4. Then a decline in trade from year 4 to year 5, year 5 to year 6, and then an increase again from year 6 to year 7. The overall trade from year 1 to 7, however, shows a decline in trade. Comparative advantages. What is comparative advantage? The theory of comparative advantage refers to the country's ability to specialize on the production of goods or services in which it has a technical advantage over its competitors. Even if one country is more efficient in the production of all goods or services than the other, both countries will still gain by trading with each other, as long as they have different relative efficiencies. The example shows before trade. Country A can produce 40 of good X and 20 of good Y, while country B can produce 30 of good X and 80 of good Y. The total world's output is 40 plus 20 plus 30 plus 80, which is equal to 170. If country A stops producing good Y and transfers all resources towards the production of good X, then the good X output would increase from 40 to 80. If country B stops producing good Y and transfers all resources to the production of good Y, then the world output would increase from 80 to 160. The example below shows after trade, the total world output after trade is equal to 240. Therefore, specialization needs to increase in the world's output. Absolute advantage. Absolute advantage can be referred to as the ability of an individual or firm to produce more of a good or service at the lowest cost per unit, using the same resources as their competitors. Since absolute advantage is determined by a simple comparison of labor productivities, it is possible for a party to have no absolute advantage in anything, therefore no trade will occur with the other party. The following table refers to 3 firms corresponding with the number of employees, number of hours worked, and their output. Firm A has 100 employees who worked 400 hours and created 250 units, while Firm B had the same number of employees who worked the same hours and only produced 176 units. Firm C, however, had the same number of employees who worked the same number of hours as Firm A and B, but produced 310 units, which therefore means that Firm C has absolute advantage over the rest of firms. Consumption theory. What is consumption theory? Consumption theory is the total quantity of the goods and services that people in the community wish to purchase for the purpose of immediate consumption. When income is zero and consumption exists, the consumption is known as autonomous consumption. Consumption theory. Aggregate demand is the total demand for final goods and services in the economy at a given time and price level. Aggregate demand is equal to consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus open brackets export minus import close brackets. Consumption is defined in part by comparison to production. Investment is the amount purchased per unit time of goods which are not consumed but are to be used for future production. Government expenditure includes all government consumption and investment but excludes transfer payments. Export: any good or commodity transported from one country to another in a legitimate fashion, typically for use in trade. Import: bringing in of goods or services into the port of a country. Marginal propensity to save, also known as MPS, and marginal propensity to consume, also known as MPC. Marginal propensity to consume is the proportion of additional income that a person uses for consumption, while marginal propensity to save is the flip side of MPS and is the proportion of additional income that the person dedicates to saving. The MPC plus MPC plus MPS is equals to 1, or MPC is equals to 1 minus MPS, or MPS is equals to 1 minus MPC. Saving. An example of savings is consumption, which is equals to 250 plus 0.6y, which is equals to minus 250 plus 0.4y. Given that savings is equals to minus 80 plus 0.1y, find the consumption function. The consumption function will therefore be 80 plus 0.9y, which therefore means that 80 is the autonomous or fixed consumption, leaving the MPS at 0.1 and the MPC at 0.9. Investments. What are investments? Investment in the economy could be a fixed sum or a variable sum. What is the national income equilibrium given that y is equals to consumption plus investment? Consumption is equals to 120 plus 0.4y, while investment is equals to 80 plus 0.2y. Y is equals to 120 plus 0.4y plus 80 plus 0.2y. Therefore, 0.4y is equals to 200. Y is therefore 200 divided by 0.4. Y is therefore 500. The table below shows that consumption is equals to 100 plus 0.5y. The y-axis, which is known as consumption, starts at 0 and ends at 700, while the x-axis, known as income, starts at 0 and ends at 1,000. The y line starts at 0 and ends at 600, while consumption, which is equal to 100 plus 0.5y line and starts at 100 and ends at 600. The both lines meet at 200, which is known as the equilibrium consumption and equilibrium income. The table below shows that savings is equal to minus 100 plus 0.5y. The graph below shows that the x-axis is known as income while the y-axis is known as savings. The y-axis starts at minus 200 and goes straight up to 500, while the x-axis starts at 0 and ends at 1,000. The y line starts at 0 and ends at 400, while the s equals minus 100 plus 0.5y line starts at minus 100 and ends at 400. Thank you for watching.